The car. Ever since the Model T was invented in 1908, it has revolutionized everything we do. From going from simple spots from A to B to across the country, the car has revolutionized how we've gone there. The next revolution is upon us with the electric vehicle. With rapid battery cost declines, rising commitment from major automakers, strong policy support from state and local governments, and low operational costs, electric vehicles are on track to pass gasoline-powered vehicles. Indeed, U.S. EV sales have grown an average of 32% annually from 2012 to 2016 and 45% over the year ending in June 2017. This puts electric vehicles on a track to eventually overshadow cars. One of the things that are holding back electric vehicles is their ability to charge. Have you ever thought of owning an electric vehicle and taking it on a beautiful drive through the mountains to a snowy peak for skiing? Or as a drive to a secluded portion of the sea more your speed with a loved one? Either way, range anxiety has crossed your mind.
Hello, and welcome from beautiful Guam. My name is Eddie Cobb. I happen to be the CEO and one of the co-founders at LIEV Solutions. Here at LIEV Solutions, we specialize in electric vehicle charging systems. One of the things that we believe are holding back electric vehicles from taking over the market and a larger share is the fact that they have nowhere to charge except for mainly at home. Range anxiety, as some might call it, is what most people fear about running out of electricity while driving their vehicles. At LIEV Solutions, we are helping to combat that problem by offering various electrical charging systems, one which is portable and can help ease the range anxiety. At LIEV Solutions, our competitive advantage is its portability. Yes, we may offer some of the same things as our competitors, such as Tesla, ChargePoint, and others, which also offer a level 1 and level 2 charging capacity or capability, also a DC fast charging capability. But one thing that sets us apart from them will be our portability. Although it may not sound like much, compare that to what the cell phone did to the telephone industry. Originally, the telephone industry had the dominant market, but once portability was completely realized, now the cell phone market is much larger than the telephone market.
When looking into industry analysis, there are two main industries that impact LIEV Solutions. That is the electric vehicle industry, which we happen to have a symbiotic relationship with, and the electric vehicle charger industry, which we see as our competition. The EV industry is comprised of a market that has experienced double-digit growth year after year. As the sales of EVs climb, so will revenues from EV charging services. With the influx of plug-in EVs in the market, industry-leading automakers and EV charging manufacturers alongside government and utilities companies are actively involved in deploying an EV charging infrastructure. Since the EV charging market is still relatively small as an industry, the assessment is difficult to obtain. However, some of our competition has experienced growth rates of 15% to 120% for the larger companies, and this is where we intend to get in and do better. With our EV service equipment, level 1 and 2 chargers, and DC fast charging stations being portable, this is where we can interrupt the status quo of the stiff competition. Currently, to charge your vehicle, you have to park your vehicle at a charging station and leave it there. While left there, the vehicle charges. But what happens when the vehicle is done charging? Who moves the vehicle? When do they move the vehicle? How much work effort is lost by employees constantly looking out the window and trying to figure out if their vehicle is done charging? Or how much charging is lost by the next person while he waits for the previous person, he or she waits for the previous person to remove their vehicle. This is what LIEV Solutions plans to change through our innovative portable system. When performing SWOT analysis, several unique risk factors exist for our business, including government regulations, fund volatility, battery disposal, hazardous chemical management, and the threat of emerging technologies. Furthermore, LIEV is subject to social trends as well as EV owner behavior changes driven by battery capacity advancements. So when discussing our strengths, we plan to focus on Seattle. This will allow us to be nimble and refine our product offering for our target customer base. Secondly, another one of our strengths, as mentioned previously times before, is the mobile design of our charging unit. Our charging unit can be moved from A to B as simply as pushing a cart. Our third strength is the mobile app that alerts you when charging is complete. The underlying algorithms will continuously learn from operations, enabling efficiency gains not achievable by human interfaces. These features make our intellectual property a valuable asset. In regards to SWOT analysis, our weaknesses deal mainly with constrained resources in the early stages, dealing with finite working capital, technical expertise, and intellectual property. We plan to overcome these risks by developing and leveraging strategic partnerships, building a strong supply chain and distribution channel, establishing accounting and legal relationships, and obtaining strong brand recognition with a positive reputation in the market. In regards to opportunities, the EV market and EV charging markets are growing rapidly, especially in the Seattle area. There are several incumbents that operate as would be expected for large national corporations that need to apply broad solutions across multiple markets. While few companies have a large market share, they have left a gap in their service offering, by which LIEV intends to fill with mobile charging services. SWOTs in regards to threats. As previously discussed, the largest threats to LIEV are the large established companies already in the market. In addition, the licensing of charging modules components could present a risk in the future. LIEV intends to integrate these components with our own proprietary engineering, but the suppliers of some of the lower level components could become direct competitors in the future. Now we're at the part that every venture capitalist and any investor really cares about, the financials. So here's what we have. We already have raised funds through crowdsourcing, personal investment, and small business grants and loans, which we have reached a total of $1.25 million. What we need is a cash infusion of $3 million. As you can see on slide 2, we see that we should be able to break even within 2 years. A big concern, or something that we will continue to track on our radar, is that the useful lifespan of the recycled batteries is about 5 years. So around year 6, we might have to go out for another round of funding to continue. What we offer for that $3 million cash infusion is a 30% stake of our company, valued at $9 million. That is a heck of a deal. For any further financial information or the nuts and bolts of our plan, please turn to the appendix of our business plan. For President and CEO, we have Eddie Cobb with previous leadership within the military and in a very technical field of avionics. For Chief Operating Officer, we have Joseph Pena with manufacturing engineering, industrial engineering, and much needed experience. Corrine Dreenan, our Chief Technical Officer, has science and technology expertise as well as connections with the distribution channels and industry experts. And our Director of Marketing, Mark Hardwick, has a strong background in sales and marketing for manufacture of high-tech products. Our Director of Legal Affairs, Alex Armstrong, has a law degree and experience in handling legal affairs for startups.
At LIEV Solutions, for our technology, most electric drive vehicles use batteries to store energy, including plug-in hybrids like your Nissan Leaf, as well as battery-powered EVs like Tesla. Energy storage systems include lithium-ion, nickel metal hydrate, lead acid, and ultra-capacitors. The most challenging hurdle with our mobile charging solution will be the integration of recycled batteries into a modular platform that can be shared across multiple units because each vehicle has its own charging cable. A Tesla charging cable is different from a Nissan Leaf charging cable. Our strategy to combat these hurdles are to partner with organizations such as Holland, Global Energy Solutions, and Sebesma's Electronics Early to effectively utilize their technical experience and reduce the costs associated with R&D.
Go.
The majority of EV charging is through alternating current, supplying up to 80 amps at voltages of 208 to 240. DC fast charging technology can charge batteries to 50 to 80% capacity in about half an hour. Unfortunately, these also put additional strain on the grid and the vehicle battery, not to mention a lot of heat. Our technology solution will be twofold in that they will deliver convenience for consumers away from home, at work, or on the go, alongside to provide safe and effective charging for customers that have a bit more time. In all cases, our units will be designed to accommodate charging during off-peak hours when possible to deliver the least expensive charging solution during peak electricity hours. So basically what happens is our charging units at night are plugged in and they charge themselves. Because like I said earlier, we have the reused batteries inside our mobile charging unit. That mobile charging unit is powered and charged at night during off-peak hours. Then during the day, to charge the electric vehicles, it can be moved around and that cheaper electricity can be used during the daytime. I apologize for all the slides prior to this. To completely understand what we're going for and our mission, you had to go through all that information. I'm no big fan of death by PowerPoint, just as much as anybody else. But as I said, that was very, very valuable information that I believe needed to be presented with slides and pictures. So now I'm here to talk about our marketing plan. Our marketing plan is to basically move upon the early movers, those that are techies. Most people with electric vehicles are first movers in the first place. So we will capitalize on that. Here at LIEV, we have 4 different things we're thinking about for the exit strategy. First will be an individual owner equitable shareholder buyout. Upon successful financial performance and high valuation of the company, the owner shareholders may consider selling a percentage of their equitable share to employees or a third party. Next will be a straight up sales to a third party. If the company could obtain a sales premium of 5 times earnings, the company would consider selling to a third party. And then third would be if the company were to scale all the way national for its market and to do well, we would go ahead and go public with an IPO. Only if we had significant revenue growth. And lastly, if somehow everything were to fall apart, we would go with liquidation. And only under the worst case scenario, once again, we would, such as a lack of a viable market or poor financial performance, we would sell everything and liquidate. No one wants to have a mark like that on their career, but if you're going to fail forward. Personally, I would go with the sale or the individual owner equitable shareholder buyout because I like what we're doing. I like to see it move forward, but at the same time, I also like to get my cash and tap out. Cut.